I believe that, of course, stating the obvious, powerful people run the world. I believe that powerful people try their very best to inflict their worldview and their goals and desires on the general populace. I think an easy way to think of it is that if you had a company, let's say you had a small company with 4 to 5 employees, you wouldn't hire any employee that didn't agree with you or didn't listen to you or didn't think like you. If you said, I want you to do this, and they said no, then you'd fire them, right? So if you can extrapolate that out and make it much larger and understand that these people have companies with millions of people or they own countries, they want people to comply. And the reason people have to comply with them is because these people own all the important resource, they own all the important land, they print the money, they own the media, they own the information, and they want to make sure that everybody agrees with them and complies with them. So they have tried very hard to damage the human psyche to the point where we are now completely empty and open for all forms of slave programming. They tried to convince us to ignore our own eyes and our own ears. They convince you to look at somebody and not be sure what gender they are, or to look around you and pretend you're in a pandemic when everything is fine. They convince you that your own brain is the enemy and that you must just only consume what you are told, because once they do that, once they can convince you to do something as crazy as ignore your own eyes, then they can simply slot in any USB stick of slave programming at random, whatever they want you to currently believe. Whether it's to believe this particular war is a good idea, or staying in your house and destroying your own business is a good idea, or gassing X amount of the population because they're a different religion is a good idea. That's how it works. If I had an employee and I said do this and they said I ain't doing that, but well then you're fucking fired. Oh, but I have to pay a mortgage. Don't care. Bye. I can turn ruthless just like anybody else, right?
Well, a lot of people can't, can they?
Well, but you don't become powerful if you can't be ruthless.
Yeah.
This is the unfortunate reality: is the people who become most powerful in the world are the people who have the capability to be ruthless. This is what it is. Power is only attractive to people who want to yield it. Why would you want power if you're not going to wield it? Why would you want a sword if you never take it out, right? If you give a guy a gun, he's going to, even if he doesn't want to shoot anyone, he'll wave it around a bit. He ain't just going to put it in the drawer and close it and never touch it again, right? So the people in life who never try to become powerful, maybe they're the ones who can sit and say, I wouldn't do that. Well, but you're never going to be powerful, so who cares? The people who aim for power and crave power, they crave it to use it, right? And I'm not saying that I'm any better than these people who are in charge of the world. I'm sitting saying this is human nature to a degree. I try my very best to live true to God, and I know that I try and do good things. But the people in charge of the world perhaps believe that their ideas are good. They're opposite to mine, right? So they may have the idea that we should teach children about sex at 3 years old. I believe we should leave the children alone. They believe their idea is good. I believe my idea is good. And if I was in charge of the world and somebody tried to do the opposite idea, teach children about sex at 3 years old, I'd be the one saying absolutely no, shut them up. I'd do the same thing. Do you understand? So I'm no better than these people. We're all human. I just truly believe that my views are better than theirs. But they believe the same the opposite way around. And that's what's so difficult about it. That's what's so sad about the world. If you look at any war, it's never good guy versus bad guy. Everyone has their opinions, right? But it's always a gray mess of some guy's got a good point, the other guy's kind of got a good point. Everyone's half good, half bad. And that's the unfortunate reality of Earth. So yeah, it's a strange one, but I absolutely, completely will sit here and say, yes, if I had absolute power, then I would wield it completely, just like they are. In the movie The Matrix, your body heat is being salvaged, and to keep your mind occupied, you're living inside of a false reality, computer generated. The reason I think we live in a matrix now is because I think the same thing is happening. Perhaps it's not our body heat, perhaps it's our work, our ideas, but they're being salvaged, and the reality they've given us to occupy our brains is false. We don't live in the real world. We are living in a reality where we're told stories and narratives that aren't true, where they try very hard to distract us with garbage. Rihanna. Hundreds of thousands of people in a crowd looking up at somebody like they're God, jumping up and down for hours on end. You're a peasant. You're a peasant. And your life's shit, and you have no achievements, no money, you're depressed, but you're distracted. They've distracted you with this idol, whoever it happens to be. Put them there, and the peasant's like, yeah. And then they go home, and they're told something by the news. Let's make up a completely false scenario. Be afraid of the common cold. Okay. And then anyone who comes back and says, why are we afraid of the common cold? They delete their point of view. They shut them up to create a false reality. You're asking how to escape. Stage one is you must make money. I've tried very hard to help people with no money, but there's just too many blocks in the way. You can't put that on social media. You can't afford a day off work. You can't afford your boss to get mad. You can't afford to get arrested. You can't get a lawyer. You can't fight. You can't fight. You need bullets in your gun. And actually keep your eyes open and look around, then you'll naturally escape the matrix. It's natural for the human mind, it's natural human evolution for us to spiritually escape the enslavement. Because the enslavement is from man, but our enlightenment is from God. It is natural for us, if you get rich enough to say no to ideas that you understand are innately wrong, if you get rich enough to have a different opinion, if you pay a lot of attention and you resist all of the temptations of the devil, the only possible end state is to escape the matrix. It's an easy trajectory. Most people fall off because they're too broke to think. You're too poor to have an opinion, so you're too poor to think. The rest fall off because they get a little bit rich and they get snapped up. But anybody who doesn't fall for those two traps ends up where I am. And there are a lot of us.
And where are you?
I am in a stage of enlightenment outside of the matrix. I'm like Morpheus. I come in and out. I come back into the matrix. I come to YouTube. I talk to people whose minds are ready to be freed. I convince them to join the real world at CobraTake.com and begin their journey. And I take the free minds and we escape the matrix together. This is why for a long time on Twitter, I had an account called Morpheus. I was Morpheus because that's what I kept getting compared to. I come in and out trying to free the minds. Like I've achieved this amazing life and I've tried very, very hard, but it could have been harder. I mean, was it that hard? About 86% hard. It wasn't 100% hard. Why? Because the competition's zero. Everyone is a fucking loser. It's amazing to me. Everyone's a loser. I can say to somebody, listen, I'll make you a millionaire. Do this. Oh yeah, but you know, the kids are home from school now. That's it. They're done. And then they'll sit and go, oh, I really wish I had some money. You are a loser. I will sit here on this podcast. People will listen to me for hours. And I will say, listen, I have hundreds of millions of dollars and I will teach you how to make money. CobraTake.com, I have a school, university designed specifically to teach you how to make money. I clearly know how to make money. You clearly like what I say. You obviously believe I'm intelligent and integral and I won't lie to you. And still, a whole bunch of people will sit there and go, yeah, anyway, next video. And then they'll say, can't afford a Ferrari, and wonder why. Like they'll be confused in their minds how they didn't end up getting what they want. Because you're a fucking loser. When I say these things, there are going to be certain amounts of people who listen to this and think I'm crazy. He's crazy. And there's going to be people who listen to it and go, yes, finally, Finally, I understand. Finally, I know what to do. I've felt this for so long. I've looked around me and knew that this shouldn't be my life. I knew that they're lying to me. I didn't know what to do. Now he's told me what to do. Those are the ones I'm interested in. And they can join the real world. Inside of CobraTake.com, I'll see them there. Anybody who thinks I'm crazy, that's fine. I'm crazy. Don't worry about me. I'm a crazy misogynist. The news has never lied to anybody. Every war ever started, the reason the news told you, that's why it started. It's not like every single one's been a false flag since the beginning. Every single narrative that they've tried to purport upon you is not to control you. It's because they want you to know the truth because you're so important. Don't worry. So if the media is lying about me, they must be right.